Good afternoon. I'm Landon with Murmur Press. Today, we're going to talk about some thoughts on Scouts and Spies by Gerry Baker. Gerry Baker, that's him on the back. He did many years in Special Forces and then started doing historical work for some universities and whatever as basically a reenactor of colonial times. Indian fighting and things. So this book is strange. Okay, he takes a modern look on Indian scouting and colonial scouting. So basically, scouting in those times would have been, you need to go out into this area. We plan to harvest wood, harvest animals, start new farmland, and discover if there's any enemy or hostile activity in the area, especially during wartime. Okay, during the French and Indian War, these guys would have been invaluable. So he basically breaks it down into teams of 4. Okay, he talks about it's all about muskets and cotton clothing or wool clothing and getting to the riverboat and things like that. But it's funny. It's a very modern warrior writing about how he thought of these things with his military training. He talks about going into ambushes and how you would send your scouts out while you're marching in column, right? Because basically Napoleon times, you're marching in column. You send your flankers out, and they scout the ridges and hills on the left and right to pop any ambushes early or surprise an ambushing Indian party. Super fascinating, thin, cheap book. Get it, read it, apply it. This is a Helicon Tex butt pack, and basically I wanted a butt pack for a long time. I really didn't know what I wanted it for. This made me realize why I got this. This is for short time reconnaissance or, a hunting trip. And it packs enough stuff in it that I can survive in an inconvenient camping purpose. Okay? So, with Gerry Baker and I'd say Dave Canterbury, who teaches the 10 C's of survival, container, combustion, candling, things like that, which you need to go look up on your own. I cannot do a video justice enough for that. This is actually one of Dave Canterbury's products right here, this bottle. And there's a reason why it's stainless steel, and there's a reason why it's 32 ounces, and there's a reason why it has a wide mouth. There's a reason for everything in this kit. This is not frivolous. I just got it because I have it, okay? I'd put this in there, but I need to have my knife on me, according to Gerry Baker, okay? So it's things in this book I'm going to take with me into other aspects of how I'm going to train and camp and hike from now on. It's just part of me. He talks about words in here that the colonials didn't probably have words for, but they understood what it meant. Like a danger area. A danger area is a big open area that you have to cross or have to circumnavigate safely to get across without having the enemy spot you. These are all about scouts. You're behind enemy lines. You're not supposed to be seen. You got to move slow. Got to move quiet. Not talking to each other for days on end. Having little supply and ration and a plan. An unspoken plan while you're there is not as good as a pre-planned thing while you're back at the FOB or the base saying, hey, if we get split up, rendezvous here at Silverback Mountain or wherever you're at, okay? That's what this book is about. It's about being in a team and having to work with a team without using your mouth, without making too much noise, having certain protocols. He even talks about if you have somebody in your team that snores loudly, make sure he sleeps with his pack on and up against a tree to mitigate snoring. And if he snores too loud, the one who's on watch needs to wake him up. It goes into that much detail in this short of a book. It talks about who's snoring, because the enemy will find you at night. No fires, no cooked food, only cured meat, and things like that. It's a super fascinating book. I encourage everyone to get it. from Gerry Baker. Talks about not building shelters, overnight fires. I'm just whatever comes up. And he underlines very important things. Never stop on your own trail to take a break. He goes into tracking. Okay, so if you're taking a trail and you're following this trail, you don't stop on that trail and take a break, because if there's an enemy party following your tracks, they're just going to find you immediately. What he talks about is going to where, when you decide to take a break, backing up and setting up an ambush. So if somebody's following you, you can take a break and ambush a party that's following you. Wild things that, quite frankly, I've never done any scout work that makes sense to me. It made sense immediately. It brought me back to thinking about the long-range reconnaissance patrols, or LRPs, from Vietnam. And basically, you take a Vietnam concept, give them muskets and no radios and no flashlights, and you put it in this book for Gerry Baker. Wow. If there was a couple books that were in my top 5 right now, this is one of them. I gave it a reread, which it's 84 pages, and it even has an index. It even index a blanket. It has pages about blankets. So, it's got an index, and it has kind of the laws of scouting written in the back. Equipment, hand signals, logistics. Wow, navigation, movement. I mean, it even names the positions in your patrol. So, get some thoughts on Scouts and Spies by Gerry Baker. It will change how you think about your next hunting trip, at the very least. We'll go into this when I've tested it more. Yesterday was the first time I'd used it, and I was super happy with it so far. I'm gonna make some changes though. Stay tuned for that. Till then, stay safe.